right, April is Oral Health Month, and joining me here in studio is Bryce Wylde, known as Canada's leading alternative health expert and published author. Bryce, thanks for joining me.
Todd, great to be in studio with you, sir.
All right, so what else? What other descriptions might we include when it comes to you?
You know, I've been in 25 years, I've been in clinical practice, Toronto, born and raised. And in that time, we were taught early days in school, during a physical examination, which we do on indication, look in the mouth. Yeah. And this derives actually a little bit from traditional Chinese medicine. So we're looking at the tongue and we're looking at, you know, the oral state of health in the mouth because it translates to the rest of the body.
Right.
We did a recent survey across Canada, just over 1,500 people. And the survey concluded that about 50% of us have no idea that good oral hygiene translates to heart and brain health.
Wow.
So in Nova Scotia, unfortunately, about 1 in 3 Nova Scotians, floss daily, and that translates to even less, 1 in 5 for the 18 to 24-year-olds. And again, nearly 50% of the East Coast doesn't even understand that relationship to the heart. 70% don't know that there's a relationship directly to the brain. So how does this all work? So there are bacteria that we've heard of. Maybe some of us remember our hygienists say, the reason you got to brush and floss is because of this P. gingivalis. That's notorious for causing cavities, right? It releases acid and we get, and dentists love to drill and fill. But there's stuff between the teeth. And that stuff, including, fucosa bacteria and P. gingivalis, can escape into your general circulation and land itself in your brain, causing Alzheimer's, and even in your heart, causing things like stroke and cardiovascular disease.
Why do you think this has been so overlooked?
You know, it's a great question that we're trying to crack the code on. We don't have a solid answer for you. All we know is that it takes 60 to 90 seconds to reverse it and flip the coin on this, right? Everyone's got that, and we're probably, by doing that every single day, doesn't matter what time, by the way, we're probably seeing an equivalent of 6 to 7 healthy years added onto your life. This also, by the way, helps to prevent things like diabetes.
Wow.
So as a broadcaster, I would challenge the notion that probably more than most people, what starts in the mouth doesn't stay in the mouth. It gets out there. That's the same and true for the body. What starts in the mouth doesn't stay in the mouth. It goes everywhere. So the bad stuff that's between the teeth, and by the way, this is more than the beef in the teeth, okay? This is bacteria you can't even see that causes gingivitis and periodontitis. By the way, everything with itis is inflammation. And inflammation is a medical buzz term of the day for a very good reason, because it underlies all disease at the end of the day. So we want to prevent that stuff. And just by flossing, and this is what people have to know, they brush. We all brush in the morning. We don't want bad breath. We want whiter smiles, but we forget to floss. 60 to 9. Flossing does more than you think. That's the point.
Yeah, what about those picks? That's what I like.
So, here, I'm going to hand this over to you. That's why I'm also, so you know what, I put these next to, these are gum, turns out these guys are the #1, recommended form of oral hygiene by dentists and hygienists. But the, what are they calling this? Twisted mint. It tastes nice too. The gum picks are the easy way to get in the mouth. You and I, big hands, man hands, can't fit that floss in. What are we doing? So these are easy. I'm Netflixing. I'm watching my latest, show, binge, whatever. And 60, 90 seconds, I'm in between my teeth and adding years to my life. How much easier could it be?
Is there some type of etiquette here? I mean, I sometimes do this publicly, use these, and I realize, what am I doing?
Well, I feel like if you're in the car on your own and it's drive time, probably a good idea.
Not in the elevators, no, you don't
maybe not. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I guess I would assume, and maybe you'd agree with me, that it would be in the same sort of context as you're brushing. I mean, you get it done at once. Here's actually, you're reminding me of a very important point. It's different than brushing by far. So brushing is superficial, and you still got to do it, and it'll help to keep free of cavities. It will not get between the teeth. So part of the protocol, part of the process, whenever you fit it into your day, is doing both. And I did the quick, back of the napkin cowboy math on this. So this is not evidence, proven science numbers I'm gonna spew out here, but I think it's interesting. That 6 to 7 years, which is derived from evidence. A lot of published peer-reviewed journals, meta-analyses, JAMA, Nature magazine, all say that taking care of between the teeth, flossing, adds years to your life, prevents, things like Alzheimer's and cardiovascular disease. But where I'm going with this is that every second you floss for that 60 to 90 seconds, every second translates into about an hour extra lifespan.
So you're saying once a day is enough?
Once a day is enough, 60 to 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't overfloss, can you?
So bring up a really good point and reminding me that, some people who have sensitive gums, and the first time you start doing this protocol, you might start to bleed a little bit. Yeah. That's okay. The point is tightening them up. I've got 9 dentists in my family, by the way. So imagine, Thanksgiving dinner is all about oral health. So I've learned this along the way. And again, I check my own patients in clinical setting for their oral. But bleeding gums can be a sign that there's some other more serious issues, like gingivitis or periodontitis. But it might even start to happen for healthy people. So your question, coming full circle, can you over floss? I think you probably can. It only takes a couple, like at the most, you don't need to do it for more than 2 minutes. Right. And there's something oddly satisfying about some of these products, like there's those soft picks that are available now. Yeah, massaging the gums, making them more, let's call it astringed or tighter, is going to create a better, let's say, vacuum, if you will, around the tooth. That's what's going to be preventing the bacteria from slipping inside from your mouth into general circulation. That's what we want. But if you're over flossing to the point of damaging your gums or making your gums bleed, no good.
Okay, I see you brought some props forward at a time. What want to get to that?
It's for another time. You're looking at a brain here. You're looking at a heart. You're looking at some teeth, and the point again is really just to help folks and yourself visualize. This is the surface we brush, but getting between here will actually prevent bacteria from getting general circulation. Our teeth are not just dead material. They're alive, and there's circulation to them. This is the point of how bacteria would otherwise, what we call medically, translocate from the oral cavity into places that we don't want it in the rest of our body.
And of course, all the nerves that are there, all the connectivity is what you're getting at here, right?
You know what? There's a huge immune connection. Yeah. In fact, it's autoimmune. It's a mistake that's made sometimes. So it starts ground zero with forms of infection, bacteria and viruses. This is a big theory, but proven. So when this is introduced to the body, maybe more than it should be, the immune system responds as it should, but if it over-responds and then maybe confuses it with other body tissues, such as Alzheimer's, such as Parkinson's, this is a confused immunity. It can and does translate in some people, long-term, to autoimmunity. Right. So now your body's attacking its own tissue. So we've heard of the microbiome in the gut. The gut is 80% of our immune system. Guess what? The gut basically starts in the mouth. Yeah, sure. Some people talk more than others, but that's not the point. It's bacteria, oral bacteria, the good and the bad. It's called dysbiosis. I affectionately refer to this as leaky mouth. If you've got the wrong strains or overly populated bad strains of bacteria in your mouth, and now you've got inflammation, could be subclinical. You might not even see it. Yeah. That's what's leaking into the system. Leaky mouth is a very big problem, and it's not often understood, and that's the whole point of this national tour.
Well, you make me want to floss right now.
Good. I appreciate it, and I hope you do, and people can learn more about this. Gumhealth.ca. There's all kinds of information. If they hit me up on social media, at Wylde on Health, I'll happily send them a free ebook that I call Leaky Mouth, Delay the Day You Die.
Okay, tell everybody about that email or that address again.
Yeah, at Wylde on Health, so my last name, WYLDE on Health. That's my Instagram handle, Facebook, Twitter. People can reach out. I'll happily send them a Leaky Mouth ebook for free, 140 pages, 35 of which are all evidence-based references. And not only will they change the day they die, add healthy years to their life, because flossing does more than you think.
Well, I'll guarantee you that you've inspired many, many people listening right now to floss today that would not have.
I so hope so, Todd. I appreciate so much the opportunity to share the news.
And myself at the top of the list, but I'll pay attention to etiquette and not do this in the elevator on the way down.
There you go. I think it's a great point.
All right, and again, Bryce, for people who want to know more about you, how can they hit you up again?
Yeah, gumhealth.ca, or my personal website, which has got over 500,000 pages of free information, wyldeonhealth.com.
And Wylde is WYLDE.
You got it.
Okay, thanks, Bryce.
Thank
Very
you.
Interesting. Bryce Wylde, known as Canada's leading alternative health expert and published author. And go floss, everybody. Your calls when we come back.
You up? No, I appreciate it.
Do things via phone.
Yeah, I appreciate. Oh, amazing! I'm always available for that stuff.
Okay.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.